1 in 500 men may carry an extra sex chromosome, and most without knowing it. The study included more than 200,000 men in the UK. As many as 1 in 500 men carry an extra sex chromosome, either an X or a Y, but very few of them likely know about it, a new study suggests. The research published June 9 in the journal Genetics in Medicine included data from more than 207,000 men who provided information to the UK Biobank, a repository of genetic and health data from 500,000 UK-based participants. Typically, males carry one X and one Y-shaped sex chromosome in each of their cells, but among the study participants there were 213 men who carried an extra X chromosome and 143 men that carried an extra Y chromosome. Very few of these men either reported being diagnosed with a chromosomal abnormality or had such an abnormality noted in their medical records. Of the XX men, only 23% had a known diagnosis, and just 0.7% of the XYY men had a diagnosis. The potential symptoms of having an extra Y chromosome can be very subtle, which may somewhat explain the difference in diagnosis rates, according to the Genetic and Rare Diseases Information Center. Dr. Ken Ong, pediatrician and endocrinologist in the Medical Research Council MRC Epidemiology Unit at the University of Cambridge, co-senior author of the study, said, "We were surprised at how common this is." This is what he told The Guardian. He said it had been thought to be pretty rare. Previous estimates suggest that roughly 100 to 200 men out of every 100,000 are XXY, according to the National Human Genome Research Institute, and an estimated 18 to 100 out of every 100,000 men were thought to be XYY, the authors noted in their report. In all, about 0.17% of the study participants had an extra sex chromosome, or about 1 in 580. However, the rate observed in the study might be slightly lower than that among the general population, the study authors noted in their report. That's because UK Biobank volunteers tend to be healthier than the general population and have a lower than average incidence of genetic conditions. And based on this, the authors estimate that about 1 in 500 men, or 0.2%, in the general population carry an extra sex chromosome. Having extra sex chromosomes can rise the risk of certain health conditions, and this increased risk seemed to be reflected in the biobank volunteers' health data, the researchers reported. For instance, Klinefelter syndrome, KS, or having an extra X chromosome as a male, has been linked to reproductive problems, including infertility and delayed puberty, according to the National Human Genome Research Institute. And in the study XXY men's rate of childlessness was 4 times higher than that of XY men, and they were 3 times more likely to have started puberty late, according to the statement. A condition called 47XYY syndrome, or having an extra Y chromosome as a male, was not linked to an increased rate of reproductive problems in the affected study participants, the authors report. That said, in the past, the syndrome has been linked to other symptoms, including learning disabilities, delays in acquiring speech and motor skills, and unusually low muscle tone, according to Genetic and Rare Disease Information Center. These symptoms were not specifically assessed in the biobank study. However, the research did reveal a possible link between extra sex chromosomes and other conditions. Compared with XY men, both XXY and XYY men showed higher rates of type 2 diabetes, plaque buildup in the walls of the arteries, arteriosclerosis, blood clots in the veins, venous thrombosis, and lung arteries, pulmonary embolism, and chronic obstruction pulmonary disease, which obstructs airflow in the lungs. It's unclear why both KS and 47XYY should show striking similarities in conferring substantially higher risks for many diseases in common, the authors wrote in their report. The mechanisms driving this increased risk will have to be explored in future studies, they said. The study is limited in that it only included men of European ancestry who were aged between ages of 40 and 70. However, our studies, they said, is important because it starts from the genetics and tells us about the potential health impacts of having an extra sex chromosome in older population without being based on only testing men with certain features, as have often been done in the past. Anna Murray, an associate professor of human genetics at the University of Exeter Medical School and co-author of the study, said in her statement. This was originally on Live Science by Nicoletta Lanise. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Unfortunately, the study does not talk about any racial differences. It only talks about the age group 40 to 70 and no inclination as to where they were born, where they were raised, and what their backgrounds were, where their location of roots was from. So this is obviously very important too as to what their genetic heredity and location was. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.